Today, cloud cost alerts are either not actionable, wrong, repeated, and cause a lot of alert fatigue, so engineers like me can use them. Therefore, it's up to the FinOps central team to dig, analyze, and then chase engineering to fix them and explain why it caused these issues. And this basically doesn't work. So we are going to review today a new tool called TruPositive AI, a solution that tries to drive action, ownership, and help FinOps teams and engineering solve real business problems. So we're going to start basically with the sign up. So clicking here in Start for Free, we're going to sign up and explore with Sandbox. I'm going to use Google, and then I'm going to use one of my accounts. And then we start here. So basically you can have the tour and you can check all of that, but in this case I'm going to skip it so it's able to use it and to be able to do it faster. So the first thing that we see here is the observation focus. So basically what we have here is the observation feed, and then we have the focus tab, the auto ignore, and the handle. So in the focus tab is basically all the alerts, all the observations that are relevant for you that the engine from TruPositive has detected that are important and can be relevant. So you can see here all the scopes that you have. You can integrate with multiple, but this case is focused on Azure, and you can have a specific resource group, and then you can add more, and you can modify this if you want to ignore certain ones that are not relevant for you. Maybe you can put you as an owner, only the ones that you want as an owner, only for prod, for example, etc., etc. And then all your application and subscription name. So you can save the scopes, and then you can auto subscribe to new ones, so you can disable that as well. So back to the observation feed, we are going to see the filter. So you can filter more, like for example, the cloud provider equals to Azure. And then we are going to apply the filters. And then we can save it as a rule, and you can use these for later, so Azure alerts, and then you can even subscribe to that, make it as favorite, and then to apply it, so you can see that I've created that rule, and you can even remove it. So with that, you can also update as any tabular system the metrics that you can see here. And you can see all the relevant observations. So then we have the auto ignore. So probably this is kind of the most useful, one of the most useful tools that I have seen in this provider, which is the capability to ignore the non-relevant alert. So in DevOps and in FinOps, we have a lot of alerts coming. And then what's important and what's not, that's a problem to detect and to flag. And this causes what is called alert fatigue. So you have a lot of alerts in your feed, and then it doesn't make sense to stick and to see all of them. And what basically this tool helps you is that to automatically learn from your patterns, and then being able to ignore all the alerts that are not relevant because of the pattern that it provides and what it does. So really useful, and then we are going to focus. So it gives us the capability to focus. So I'm going to use to inspect one of these, and I'm going to provide you with the information that it shows. So basically the idea is to have this root cause analysis. So you can see here the category, where is it located, what's the subscription associated with it, the resource group, and the product. So you can match it to your business. And you can see here that the cost is actually increasing, and in here the spike is bigger than expected, and we have a deviation. So how we can say, okay, this is a deviation, but how it really affects us. So for doing that, you have the AI summary that the TruPositive provides. Basically, normal text that you can check and you can analyze the cause of it, and what it was expected, and the primary drivers. So the increased the runtime, the mixed pricing, the VM resource for testing. So you can have more context for your alert and not just simply the data. So once you have this summary scene, one of the things that I like that also is the code to cost. So basically being able to relate the cost to a code change, and you can even see the code commit. So it's going to load on the Terraform code that caused this issue to happen, and you can inspect it and see why all of this. So I'm always prone to relating the code to the cost and doing like FinOps as code. So I think this is pretty useful, and it's called basically runtime FinOps. So basically all the code that is now running, you can relate to, okay, this change cost me this cost after the fact. So you can have here more of a discovery path in a more tabular view. So if you are more of a tab people, or you can see it clearly with the expected cost, the impact, and everything. And on the left side, you have a lot of metadata. So what's the status and the scopes affecting it, so owners, applications, environment, and the deviation and the impact, okay? Along with the car provider. And of course you have action. So this tool is all about action. So you can ignore this anomaly, mark as a false positive in order to let the tool learn better about your cost pattern. So it will, ignore these alerts in the future, or you can act, okay? So let's go with acting. And basically the idea is to create tasks for your team to take action on this anomaly or add to a new one. So the tool is going to show you the primary drivers, so why it caused this anomaly. So as mentioned, the ones that it suggested, the single test VM resource, or the increased runtime, or the mixed pricing model utilization. So you can set up here the title, you can sync to Jira, which is one of the integrations that I'm going to show you later. And you can escalate to Jira and select the group and the possible causes. So in this case, reserve capacity gaps, and then we can change it to, for example, let's say configuration errors, because it seems like this could be a configuration error as well. And it shows you the description of the task that you will generate then in Jira, and the recommended fixes. So these are read-only actions. So in the future, it'll probably be like more click to apply or automated application fixes, but in this case, it's just recommendations. So you can have here ideas on how this could be fixed. Okay, so now that we have everything defined, we are going to raise this observation as a task. Okay, so now the task is ready, and we have moved to the task view, and you can see the Jira ticket. So basically, if you have access to your Jira, in this case it's a sandbox environment, you would see the ticket over here. So since I don't have access to the team's Jira, we are going to go back here, and then we see here all the tasks, and this is the one that we have recently created. We can see it here, we can see the ticket, and we can see the sync. So all the information that we have on the observation view, it has translated to that, and in a by sync communication with Jira. So all the changes that you do here, it will be applied to Jira and vice versa. So now I want to go back to the auto ignore. So basically here you have alerts that are ignored by the system. It will start in a more conservative way. So you'll have more alerts showing, and then it will reduce that amount once it learns a bit about the cost habit that you have, because it doesn't have the context around it. But you can also manually unignore one of the tasks. So if, for example, we have here, let's say that this cost deviation is something that we want to consider in the future, let's go to unignore, and it'll be able to revert this alert, and then it will show into the observation feed, and you can see now here that you can take action on that. So one of the things that I've mentioned before was the integration. So if you are a DevOps, you are very used to have things, alerting you in Slack, Jira, Teams. So the tool from TruPositive has all these integrations available, so you can have your alerts in Slack, in Teams, and of course you can integrate in your CI/CD pipeline, both in GitHub and in GitLab, and of course with the cloud providers most used, AWS, Azure, and GCP. One of the things that are very interesting is the MCP server. So you can basically use the tool from the CLI, from Cloud Cost, from any of your tools integrated with AI, and you can have their guide that I'm going to showcase later on about how to use the MCP for TruPositive, because I think it's pretty useful. So we have seen a lot of capabilities that are more oriented to the engineering team or the product team. But we want to see the capabilities that these two have for the FinOps. So for that, you have the FinOps Center. So in the FinOps Center, you have two views. One is the company that is more for the FinOps team. Like if you have a FinOps Central team or you are the one running the FinOps activities, this is the global view about the status of your FinOps practice within the company. And then you have a user view that is more like for the engineers to see like what's been the action that have been taken on your side. And probably in the future we will have like team, department, unit, all of these views configured, but as of now we have all of these. Okay, so what metrics do we have here? So we have the noise reduction rate, so how many of the alerts are on focus rather than ones that are being auto-ignored. So it will help you see like how much the tool is helping you to detect only the things that are relevant. Then you have the race observation divided by the race plus to validate observations with positive impact. So basically more valid cost anomalies that are being acted upon. That's called the TruPositive rate, the savings potential that you have in anomalies, the total cost that you have in your cloud, and the unpredicted variance ratio. So basically, you know, that the alerts that are unreviewed, anomalous spent, so how much of that is, you know, now unpredicted, so now it should be going to zero. And then you can measure the action that is taking your engineer. So these are KPIs that are always useful to track the performance of your teams. And you have, you know, realized savings, the saving conversion rate, so how much for the potential has been converted. And then some metrics that are very DORA related. So basically you have the mean time to inspect, the mean time to act, and the mean time to resolve. Okay, so one thing is to, you know, from detection to first inspection, then of course to raise the observation, so first, and then to resolve, so like marked as done. So if you are a DevOps, you are pretty used to DORA metrics, so these are pretty similar, but more into FinOps. And finally, we have the cost, the maturity. So the task ownership coverage, so how much of your tasks have an owner. This is good to avoid like Jira tickets going into the goods and going into Icebox and nobody taking action on them. And same for CI/CD, the tag coverage, where you can see here the detected observation that have a commit or a PR, you know, action on that. And finally, I'll show you the cost drivers by dimension, so you can have here a view about what's driving the cost in your company. So you can here have like several metrics, the scopes that we have seen before: subscription name, resource group, resource location, meta category, subcategory, meta name, and products. I'm going to enable all of them. And for example, you can see here spot patterns. Like for example, we have a lot of workload in Western Europe, so that'll probably mean that our application is running there. But we have some workload in Australia East and Canada Central. So these are regions that are normally not used if you are not deploying into this section. So why do you have Australia East workload if your main, let's say, application is on Western Europe? Do you have data transfer going there that is costing you a lot, that has a lot of latency? So it helps you like have a view, and then in a quick glimpse, you can see if you need to take action. I will definitely inspect why we have resources over here. And then meta category, so you know what's causing, what are the main services causing the cost driver, then the subcategories, so within it, so for example in the cognitive services, okay, so we have a focus on OpenAI, and then the name, so for example even like specific configurations of VMs or provisioned throughput, so specific items within the services that we are using, and then of course product level, so for example the log analytics, then data ingestion, pay-as-you-go format. So this is costing you a lot, and for example the signups is causing us a lot of cost. So we have this information now. We can interpret it from the business perspective and say, like, does it make sense? Does it not make sense? But you have this information in a pretty simple view to interpret. And then if we go to the user view, so as mentioned, this is more for, I would say, for the engineering team, for the teams handling this. Numbers: inspect, ignore, false positive, raise, and resolve. And then DORA metrics, so inspect, validate, act, and resolve mean times. And then, of course, realize savings. So if you want to, ask for a raise and say, like, hey, I've saved a lot of money to the company, you can use this as a KPI to showcase. And now I'm going to move to the MCP server configuration. So I'm going to move to my terminal. So I'm here in the Gemini CLI. This is the terminal that I normally use for testing MCPs, and I have already configured the tool. So I'm going to use one of my prompts, and I have a previous prompt here from TruPositive. So I'm going to say that using TruPositive, show me all my active observations. So it will take a bit because there are a lot of them, and it will ask me for permissions to run some commands. And then you can see here, and I'm going to explain you in a bit how the output is for this command. Once the tool has run and it makes all the API calls that are relevant, you can see here like a summary in Markdown, and therefore you'll be able to see, like, based on your activity, here are the active observations, and then you can go directly to the tool and inspect them, and recently created a task about blah blah that we have recently created, and the summary of our recent actions you would like to investigate. So it basically provides you a way to interact directly on your CLI tool of choice with the TruPositive tool, and I think it's pretty useful because you directly can go to the Jira, you can directly go to the tool to investigate, and you can make a lot of queries in their docs here in integrations, MCP server, MCP guide. You can have a lot of examples on how to use it. So, like, the last in the past 2 weeks, KPIs, and acting on anomalies. So, you take a look and play around with it. And just a finish line is the pricing. So pretty affordable, something that you can test with your team, and it can be used on top of any of your tools because this is very focused into the cost anomaly detection. So you can use it on top, especially here, or if you are in a startup phase that you cannot that anomalies are a problem and you want to test it, feel free to use the sandbox and play around with it. So I hope you like this format. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any feedback, please let us know, and feel free to check with the TruPositive team about their tool and provide them also feedback in the comments. So that's all for today, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.